Welcome back everyone, it's Eric from Rare Candy here. Today we are back with another Rebel Clash deck profile, and today we're going to be taking a look at Turbo Boltund V. So, up until this point, I think Boltund's been looked at as kind of just like a one-of for maybe Pikarom or even the new Toxtricity VMAX that we covered on the channel recently too. But I think Boltund is actually kind of a solid Pokemon in and of itself, and I think you can successfully build around it, and that's what we're going to be trying to do today. So this is actually the same list too that was featured in our recent testing rounds video. So if you guys do want to see how this deck is going to look in action, I will have a link down below in the description for you to check that out. And also too guys, if you are excited for Boltund as an attacker of its own, I actually have an expansion article exclusively for our Stage 2 patrons and higher, detailing some additional thoughts on this deck, including a bonus Boltund Naganadel list over there as well. So if you guys want to get some bonus content and help support the channel, I'll have a link down below in the description to that as well. But let's get into the actual deck. So up first we have 4 copies of the new Boltund V, the star of the show. Boltund V is a new Pokemon that we're getting from Rebel Clash. Basic Pokemon, 200 HP, 2 attacks, the first of which just for a single lightning energy. You get to search your deck for 2 lightnings and attach them to your bench in any way that you like. So just a little bit of energy acceleration. And then its second attack, which is really the thing we're focusing in on here, for a Lightning and Colorist, is 10 plus 30 for each of your Lightnings that you have in play. So what we're trying to do with this list is just swarm energy into play as quick as possible and take big one-hit knockouts. And believe it or not, we're actually not even using the first attack on Boltund to do so. We're actually going to be using Zeraora GX in order to be able to do this. So Zeraora GX, of course, this came out back in Lost Thunder, has that Thunderclap Zone ability, which is also solid for this deck. Your Pokemon with Lightning Energy have free retreat, so that's very good at making sure we don't have to discard Lightning Energies to retreat, and allows us to keep our damage output pretty high with this deck. Has 2 different attacks, the first of which, Plasma Fist for 2 Lightning, and the Colorist is 160, and it can't attack next turn. That's fine, but really the reason we're playing this actually is Full Voltage GX, which is something I think Zeraora GX hasn't really done much with lately. But just for 1 lightning energy, you attach up to 5 lightning energies from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way that you like. This is just like the old GX attack on Turtonator GX, which saw a ton of play back when that was legal and standard. And so that's what we're trying to do. Turn 1, Full Voltage GX 5 energy into play, and then from there we have other ways of getting even more energy in play. We have Electro Powers and ways to just take big one-hit knockouts from turn 2 forward, which is what this whole deck is going to be based around. So one of the ways we're going to get this GX tech powered up though is going to be with Shuckle. So Shuckle is a card, also came out back in Lost Thunder, and it has this ability whenever you bench it from hand, you get search your deck for up to 3 basic energies and discard them. So Shuckle, of course, this can get you 3 energies right away in the discard pile if you're having trouble getting all 5 in there, and you can get them right back out with Zeraora. So going on from there, we have 3 copies of Dedenne GX. This is a very aggressive deck. I mean, it's Turbo Boltund, so we had to have at least a couple copies of Dedenne. So mainly just playing Dedenne for its ability here, Dead Eye Change. Discard your hand, draw 6 cards. So this is one of the ways we can actually draw through our deck. Then going on from there, not too much else. This is a very straightforward Pokemon line. We have 1 copy of Rayquaza GX. We're not attacking with Rayquaza at all in this list. We're just playing it for the Stormy Winds ability. Whenever you bench it from hand, discard the top 3 cards of your deck and attach a lightning from discard, or well, I guess I should say any basic energy from discard to your Rayquaza. So this is basically just a plus 30 damage whenever we bench it, which is pretty nice. And then from there, we have 1 copy of Tapu Koko Prism Star to round out our Pokemon. Tapu Koko, you guys know what this card does by now. Throw it into the Lost Zone and attach 2 lightning energies from discard to 2 of your Pokemon on the bench. So that is the core of the deck. We're just trying to go fast, get a bunch of energy play, and swing like a truck. So going on from there, we have 4 copies of Professor's Research. This is actually the only draw supporter in the entire deck, which looks really weird, but I promise we have plenty of other ways to draw cards. We do have the Dedennes, like I already pointed out. But yeah, this is our only draw supporter in the entire deck. Discard our hand, draw 7. The best supporter we could probably ask for a deck like this. We have 3 copies of Boss's Orders from there, a new card from Rebel Clash, of course. We switch our opponent's active with one of their bench Pokemon. So we have plenty of other ways to draw cards in a turn, so I think we can pretty safely actually afford to play this and then still play things like the Dene and our other draw cards to still get set up in a turn. But we are also playing one copy of Great Catcher as well, in addition to that. So a lot of times we have to actually discard our hand a lot with this deck, and we might have to toss one or two bosses orders early on in the games. That's why I'm opting for the 4 count of gusting cards. In the Rebel Clash format so far, I think one of my more ideal sort of gusting lines has been 2 bosses order and 1 Great Catcher. But like I said, since we are discarding so many cards, I wanted the extra copy of bosses orders in the deck. And then up next from there, we have 1 copy of Thunder Mountain Prism Star. That's going to be our only stadium card in the entire deck, just to reduce our attack cost by a lightning energy. Now, we really don't have any problem getting lightning energy in play with this deck, but the reason I like this is because we can actually attack with a Boltund V for a single energy. So that means whenever Boltund goes down, we're only losing 30 damage from play, not 60. Also, too, this enables the turn 1 full voltage a little bit easier. We can attach to Boltund, slap down Thunder Mountain, and then attack for free with Zeraora GX as well. So just makes our attacks a little bit more flexible. Getting on to our items, we play a ton in this deck. We have 4 copies of Acrobike up first, so this is going to be one of the other main ways we're drawing cards. Just look at the top 2 cards of our deck, discard 1, keep the other. So of course we want to pitch away those lightning energies early game to get full voltage up and running. Up next, we have a much more interesting inclusion. That's going to be 4 copies of Crushing Hammer. This definitely kind of, I think at a glance, goes at odds with the strategy of this deck. But the reason we're playing this is actually for ADP, to be honest. And also Dragapult VMAX to kind of a lesser extent. So I think actually against ADP, if we don't play any way to discard their energy turn 1, then we're going to have a tough time because they can just knock out 2 Boltunds and win, whereas we have to knock out 3 Pokemon, and I'm not sure if we are going to be able to keep ahead in that exchange. So we're playing the 4 Crushing Hammers. We play so much draw, we can usually find 1 to 2 of these on turn 1 and discard that water energy or whatever energy your opponent gets down on their ADP. And of course, right now the most popular sort of Dragapult VMAX deck that is seeing hype is Yoneda's List, or variants on that, including the one we even posted on the channel not too long ago as well, that is reliant on just manual attachments. And so disrupting their flow of manual attachments is actually really key at ensuring that we can win against them. So those 2 matchups in particular, Crushing Hammer just puts in so much work. It is a coin flip, but if you do flip heads, discarding that energy on any of their Pokemon is just such an impactful effect. Up next from there, though, we have 4 copies of Electro Power. This is obviously a staple in all of the electric decks right now. Just another plus 30 damage that we can add to the field. Up next from there, though, we have 1 copy of Electro Charger. This is a card, I've probably only seriously played once in my entire time playing the game. But I actually do like it in this deck because we are so aggressive with our discards, we might have to pitch away our Electro Powers. And Electro Charger, if you guys aren't familiar with it, you flip 2 coins. For each heads, you get an Electro Power, shuffle them back into your deck. So just some recovery for our damage modifiers. Up next from there, though, we have 3 copies of Electromagnetic Radar. So Electromagnetic Radar is actually really fantastic. We discard 2 cards, and we can search our deck for a Zeraora and a Dedenne GX, 2 of the most important cards in this deck. We really want to get that turn 1 Zeraora as quick as possible. And also up next from there, we have 4 copies of Quick Ball, just to give ourselves some more basic searching options. So ideally, like I said, turn 1, we want Zeraora, bunch of energy in the discard, and from there also Pokemon to accelerate energy too. So Quick Ball is going to be good at helping us get more Pokemon in play. Up next from there, we have 2 copies of Air Balloon. So Air Balloon isn't too important in this deck, or like switching cards in general aren't, but it's another way we can get the turn 1 full voltage a little bit easier. Because you're going to have to, a lot of times if you don't start with Zeraora, you have to attach to your active and get another energy on Zeraora. So if you are fortunate enough to find Air Balloon, you don't need that attachment to retreat your active. You can just throw it down on your active Boltund as an example, and then just attach to your Zeraora to get that turn 1 attack off. And then up next from there, we have 2 copies of Energy Spinner. This is a very interesting inclusion in the deck, I think. But one that also does help us get that turn 1 full voltage a little bit easier. So Energy Spinner, it searches for a basic energy, but if we are going second on our first turn, we can get 3 basic energies. So of course, if we are going to research or Dedenne away our hand, we can search out 3 energies, pitch them away immediately, and get us a little bit closer to that 5 count that we really want in the discard pile. Going on from there, we have 4 copies of the new Speed Lightning Energy in the deck. So, of course, this is a fantastic new card we're getting out of Rebel Clash. Special Energy provides a Lightning, but if it's attached to a Lightning Pokemon, you get to draw 2 cards whenever you attach it. So, even though we're only playing the 4 draw supporters, we have the Acrobikes, we have the Denes, we have Speed Lightnings. We have all sorts of deck thinning cards like Shuckle and Energy Spinner as well. So this is another way we can keep drawing cards even despite only playing kind of a low amount of draw supporters here. But we still play plenty of Lightning Energies in this deck. We are playing 4, 8, 11 Lightning Energies in total to round out the list. So I feel like that should be enough to consistently find with Shuckles, Energy Spinners, etc. So that's going to be the deck, guys. This has actually been a deck that has been a very pleasant surprise. This deck is super consistent, hits like a truck. Definitely feel free to try it out for yourself. This is actually a deck that going second is pretty beneficial. I'd say like 9 games out of 10, I'm getting the turn 1 full voltage GX. And from there, like honestly, it's not even too hard to hit turn 2 300 plus damage after you burn a Coco, maybe play a Rayquaza, find a couple of Electro Powers. It's really not hard to really keep that damage output maxed out and take these big one-hit knockouts with Boltund. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you did enjoy this deck profile. Of course, like, subscribe, and comment down below too. What do you guys think about this deck? Do you guys like Boltund as an attacker, or do you guys prefer maybe a slower, more Naganadel focused version of the deck? Sound off below. Let us know what your thoughts are on this archetype. And of course, if you guys can, consider supporting this channel by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/rarecandytcg. Like I said, I do have that bonus article that details some more thoughts on this deck, and like I said, my own bonus Naganadel list that is going to be uploaded over there as well. So check that out. Or if you can, buy some merch over at rarecandytcg.com. It would mean a lot. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.